finally made it. Today is Mr. Rogers' first day of opening his new shop in the small village of Kukuihali, Hawaii. After much struggle working at other shops and stores, trying to save up money and getting a loan, Mr. Rogers was finally able to buy the small shop. Now, all he wished for was to make this small business successful. Mr. Rogers turned the shop partly into a pizzeria and partly a bakery. But as of now, the shelves were still empty. Apart from a dozen muffins he baked this morning, as good luck for a fruitful first day. And so far, things were going well. Next time that punk gets in our way, we'll teach him a lesson. These newbies gotta learn who's the boss in this town. Mr. Rogers sternly watched as two men arrogantly walked in. He had seen them before, and he knew they weren't good kids. They were always causing trouble and getting involved in fights, and he hoped they wouldn't create a scene in here too. A small pizza and 2 orders of garlic knots, mister, and make it to go. Mr. Roger got to work, passing them a glance every time he heard the men raising their voices. He slid 2 pizzas into his brick oven and waited for his timer when he heard the bell ring by the door as another customer walked in. He turned to see it was Angel. She was a very polite and decent young woman who tutored kids in this village. The young men both stared at her and started murmuring indecent comments. Mr. Rogers sighed as he packed up their boxes, took their payments, and was relieved when they left. Angel, you're here? Mrs. Clemens was telling me about you just yesterday. She couldn't stop complimenting you on your oxtail soup. Mrs. Clemens is just too nice. She's a wonderful woman. Well, will you only make for her? When will you make some for me? Mr. Rogers chuckled. Tomorrow. It's a deal, Mr. Rogers. So, how is the new shop going? So far, so good. I'm sure it's going to run great. It's been really convenient for everyone around here. Now we don't have to go all the way uptown to buy pizza. And the kids were also getting a little fed up of my chicken fried rice. Now I can drop by here and buy them pizza. I'll take 2 large boxes, please. I'll get it to you in a moment. Mr. Rogers hurried to prepare the pizza as Angel sat down by the counter. Did you hear Jacob's fishing boat caught on fire? He was such a good man. I don't understand who could do something like this to someone like him, but whoever did caused him a lot of loss. It's quite unfortunate, but I'm sure Mr. Jacob will figure a way. Roger packed 2 boxes and handed them to Angel. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Here's your payment. You're welcome. I'll see you again. Angel hurried out on her way to the shore. It was almost 5 and she knew her students would already be waiting for her. Everyone in this village loved Angel. So much so that they were the ones to name her Angel. Her real name was actually Ariel. She was always taking care of everyone in this village. Her neighbor, Mrs. Clemens, enjoyed her company a lot. She was an elderly woman bound to a wheelchair. Every day, Angel would drop by to see her, cook and clean around the house, and of course, give the lonely woman company. And every afternoon, she would bring meals for children to the beach, where she also taught them. When Angel arrived to the shore, she saw her students rushing towards her. Angel, you're here! We were waiting for you. Guess what, guys? No chicken fried rice today. no fried rice. Because you're going to have pizza. In this small village, all stores and shops usually closed before sunset, and Roger too was wrapping up on his day. He had surprisingly done quite well for the first day. But as he was storing away all the food, he noticed the dozen muffins he had baked this morning were missing. But he hadn't sold any today. Had someone stolen them? It was probably those young men from the morning. Perhaps he would have to take his precautions. So the next day, Mr. Rogers installed a camera. Before he went on with arranging his bakery with several kinds of cookies, cakes, and breads, hoping he would make a sale today. Unfortunately, nothing had gotten stolen today. Rather, Mr. Rogers' baked goods turned out to be a favorite to many. The following day, Angel dropped by the store again, looking a bit upset. "So sorry, Mr. Rogers, I forgot your soup today." "It's alright, Angel, I was just joking with you." "No, it was a deal. I'll definitely bring your soup next time I come." Mr. Rogers made Angel her 2 boxes of pizza in a rush and hurried to handle the rest of his customers. All throughout the day, many people had come, and Mr. Rogers was quite happy about the progress. But at the end of the day, when he was checking all his items, he noticed a box of cookies missing. Mr. Rogers immediately checked the footage, surprised to see it was Angel who had stolen them. Angel? In disbelief, Mr. Rogers played the footage again. While he had turned around to handle the register, she had quickly snuck the box into her bag. It can't be. Why would she steal? How could this be possible? Why would someone like her steal? Absolutely bewildered, Mr. Rogers waited for the next time Angel would come to the shop. But when the next 2 days went by and she didn't come, there was also no theft. On the 3rd afternoon, Angel came to the store with a container in her hand and a smile on her face. "Mr. Rogers, look what I brought today. Oxtail soup, I didn't forget this time." "Thank you, Angel. That was awfully kind of you." Mr. Rogers made Angel her usual, and like always, she took the boxes with a smile and left. Mr. Rogers didn't mention anything to her, but as soon as she left, he checked the cameras and was shocked to see she had done it once again. Curious as to why this young woman was doing this, Mr. Rogers closed the shop and followed after her. He just couldn't understand why she would steal. She was such a decent, respected, good young woman. This wasn't like her. If she would have just told him, he would have gave it to her. Was she short on cash? Or perhaps she was too shy? A distance into following her, Mr. Rogers spotted Angel stop by a homeless man and give him a share of the pizza. She then walked all the way to the shore, going to the far end where she stopped by some stray dogs and took out some meat from her bag and gave them to feed. And alas, she went to the canopy where her students were waiting for her and distributed the pizza and the box of cookies amongst them. Mr. Rogers was surprised. She was truly how he thought she was. She fed the homeless, cared for animals. She selflessly did so much for these kids, and she didn't even keep anything for herself. This didn't make any sense. After her students all left and Angel packed up, she walked down the shore watching the sunset. As the skies darkened. It was the end of another day. She turned to head home when suddenly she spotted someone familiar in the distance walking up to her. Mr. Rogers, you're here? Yes, I thought I'd take a walk by the shore. I saw you were teaching the kids. Did they like my pizza? Yes, Mr. Rogers. They were all quite excited since the first time. That's good. How about my cookies? The look on Angel's face suddenly changed as she looked away from him. She was caught. But seeing her silent, Mr. Rogers let out a smile. It's all right, Angel. You can take cookies or muffins from my shop anytime you want. It's not a problem. But as soon as Mr. Rogers spoke the words, Angel looked at him with worry in her eyes. All of a sudden, strange gusts of wind rushed through the air. The waves began to grow taller as they splashed onto the shore. The clouds grew dark as flashes of lightning sparked amidst them. What is happening? Angel stepped back and cried, "No, you don't understand." In seconds, wings and a tail emerged from her back. Centuries ago, Ariel was no mere human being. She was a demon known as Gal Shidim. She was assigned to a righteous man by the Dark Lord and commanded to deviate and misguide him to lead him astray from the path of righteousness. Gal Shidim was obedient to her lord, and she did as told, constantly whispering evil suggestions to the man. This man was a sailor and often went on various expeditions, living his life out at sea. You know you want to have her. She's all alone. She's vulnerable. And this is your ship. You can do anything you want with her. This is your chance. Gal Shidim tempted the sailor on every opportunity. But instead of listening to her whispers, he ensured the young woman's safety and well-being. Food is running low. It won't last until you reach land. Be selfish. Think about yourself. Throw the poor off the ship. But instead, during tough times, the sailor spent hours over hours trying to fish so he could feed everyone on his ship. He tried to make it easy for the people, be it that he had to suffer the pain and hunger himself. But whilst adrift in the middle of the ocean, when a storm arose, everyone fell in fright. The weather only worsened and the sea became rough. The ship was damaged severely and had begun to sink. Everyone rushed to get hold of something to stay afloat, not caring for anyone but themselves. Gal Shidim watched as the righteous man struggled in the cold, frigid waters. She was hopeful that at least now, to save his life, he would be selfish and deviate from his uprightness. Finally getting hold on a wooden board, the sailor got onto it and caught his breath. He looked around, seeing his ship wrecked, devastated knowing his passengers all lost in sea. But that's when he suddenly heard a cry. "Save my child!" Desperately searching the waters, he spotted a woman holding up her baby, trying to drift from a broken log. Think about yourself, your life. Be selfish. Who are they? No one to you. Let them die. Gal Shidim whispered to the sailor every evil thought possible, confident that the man would do anything to save his life. But to her shock and amazement, the sailor immediately jumped into the water and swam to the mother and child, with a piece of wood helping them to get on. "Help! Help me, please! Save my child!" "Woman, get on the board. Don't get down and keep your trust in the Lord. Help will come." And the sailor himself drowned in the waters, giving his life to save another. Galshidim was unable to misguide him. He lived a life as a selfless, righteous man, and he would return to the heavens as so. When Galshidim witnessed this, the sailor's last deed brought change to her heart. She wanted to be good and live a good life. She no longer wanted to be this demon, so she called upon her Lord, the Dark Lord. My Lord, I don't want to live this life anymore. Please set me free.
How foolish and naive. You want to live a good life seeing these human beings? Your desire shall be accepted. But no, man will not accept you. They will reject you once they know your truth. None of man is righteous, but even if you do 7 good deeds and 1 bad deed, they will still reject you.
That evening, the Dark Lord had granted her her wish and set her free, but with a curse. From then on, Galshidim lived every day of her life, doing 7 good deeds. But every day, she had to commit 1 evil deed before sunset, or she would either have to turn back to a demon or burn to ashes. Mr. Rogers watched in shock as Angel's body began to burn. She fell to her knees, trying to wrap herself with her wings, but it was of no use. Suddenly, in a rage, Mr. Rogers began shouting at her, "Never dare come to my store again. There is no place for a thief in my store." And at once, the winds calmed down, the ocean waves became gentle, and the shackles on Angel's hands broke apart. Mr. Rogers stared at her in amazement. "Angel, what just happened?" "The curse is broken. Deep down inside, you accepted me the way I am, but you pretended to reject me only to save my existence." Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.